day, he looked around and said,
"Wait 1 minute. While I'm refining this oil, someone else is getting rich drilling it, and another someone's selling it to the common commuter."
So he bought his own rig and opened a chain of gas stations. By controlling both the means of production and the delivery system, Ezekiel cornered the market and choked out the competition until they had no choice but to sell to him too.
Does this video ring any bells? In the last few months, the Federal Trade Commission of the United States has been investigating tech giants and investigating whether they, like White Whale's company, is a monopoly. In this presentation, we are going to be exploring how large US tech companies are potentially monopolizing their markets and why we should be concerned. In particular, we will be looking at Facebook and Amazon, two companies involved in the antitrust investigation. Before we go further, let's talk about what a monopoly is. Monopoly is the exclusive possession or control of the supply of or trade in a commodity or service. From the perspective of companies like Facebook and Amazon, this would be their monopolization of the social media industries and e-commerce respectively. You might be wondering, why is a monopoly a bad thing? Amazon can sell products at a loss, undercutting competition. And when the competition is forced to give up because they aren't able to sell, Amazon can go back and increase prices, now that they've successfully gotten rid of the competition.
We might put out 100 products. Let's say 50 of them do well. Amazon sees that because they have access to our sales, and they will buy that product directly from the manufacturer and sell that, taking us out of the picture.
This is also called the Walmart effect, in which a bigger company comes in and takes business away from local stores, since it has the money and the volume to offer cheaper products.
Facebook. Let's now take a look at the world's largest social media website. Take a guess at how many of the largest 5 social media platforms are owned by Facebook. If you guessed 4, you were right. This amounts to about 2.5 billion users across the 4 platforms, or about 1 in 3 people worldwide. Facebook controls a large amount of the media that people consume, and when this responsibility isn't appropriately handled, it's the consumer who suffers. Here's an interesting take by Naval Ravikant, CEO of AngelList, on the power that Facebook holds.
Well known, but the most powerful people in the world today are the people who are writing the algorithms for Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, because they're controlling the spread of information. They're literally rewriting people's brains. They're programming the culture.
Due to Facebook's monolithic control over the spread of information, it quite literally shapes the flow of information within our society. Are we really okay with a company that's gone through multiple data breaches and scandals choosing what is and isn't relevant to us? During the 2016 US elections, Donald Trump used Cambridge Analytica to target people who could be swayed to vote for him.
Former Cambridge Analytica staffer Christopher Wiley says the information gave the firm the ability to pick at mental or emotional vulnerabilities, allowing them to push people to behave in a certain way.
We would only need to touch a couple 100,000 people to expand into their entire social network, which would then scale us to, most of America.
And people.
Facebook uses the data it collects on its users to specifically target them with ads that are most relevant to them.
Well, if so, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see. That's great.
Facebook tracks the websites you visit, allowing it to determine that the 28-year-old recently married woman who's looking for pregnant mother groups on Facebook could probably benefit from some typer ads. When you look at the wealthiest men alive today, topping the charts are tech billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. But actually, the wealthiest businessman to have ever lived died almost a century ago. Remember that scene from the beginning of this presentation? Well, that actually represents the real-life story of John D. Rockefeller, widely considered the richest man in modern history. In 1911, the Standard Oil Company had a monopoly over the producing, refining, transporting, and marketing of oil. The US government investigated these companies much like it's doing today, and in that landmark case, the Supreme Court decided that the monopoly was illegal and dissolved Standard Oil into 34 smaller companies. It's still unknown what will happen to the companies being investigated. Perhaps some of us fear losing big four co-ops if these companies are actually dissolved, but the ramifications of these investigations, regardless of the directions they go, will have far-reaching effects on all of us for years to come. So, who wants to play a game?